Hey guys! So I realized that it's been about 2 months since I've done my last book haul, and I've gotten some really cool books recently, so I thought I would show you guys what I've got. I got these books pretty much in the past 4 weeks or so. I didn't buy any books in September because of my reading slump, but then I went back to the bookstore at the beginning of October and that really got me back into reading. So I bought some really cool books, I bought some new releases as well as some sequels, so I'm going to share with you guys what those books are and let me know what books you bought recently because I would love to know. I only have 6 books, which may seem like a lot, but I've had book hauls before where I've showed 10, 11 books, so this is kind of small for me, but nonetheless, it's still filled with a bunch of good books, so I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. The first book I'm going to show you guys is Nevermore by James Patterson, and this is the last book in the final installment in the Maximum Ride series. And if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, then you probably know that I love this series. I'm a true fan of this series. I love James Patterson, and this is the series that got me into his books and made me love his writing. So I was in a reading slump for the month of September, but this is the book that got me back into reading because I decided to pick it up and just give it a shot because I knew that this was the type of book that would definitely get me back into the reading because it's so simple, it's fast-paced, and I'm obviously so excited to read the final installment, and I really wanted to see what James Patterson was going to do with it. Turns out that the ending was not what I expected. Kind of disappointed. I don't really know what to say about it. I liked it at some parts, but there were some moments where I just felt like it was a great letdown. It's hard for me not to like it because the characters are so great and the plot is so much fun and so action-packed. So overall, I don't know what to say about this book. It was good, but I didn't think it was good enough to be the final installment. I felt like because it's a final installment, it should overpower all of the rest of the books, but for me, this book didn't stand out. If you haven't heard about this series, I would definitely recommend checking it out because it's really fun, super exciting to read, and it's full of action. The second book I'm going to show you is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and this is her newest book, and this is the first installment in her newest series. So as you guys know, I love her books. She wrote the Shiver series as well as the Scorpio races. So for me, I'm just a huge fan of her books, so every time she comes out with a new one, I always want to buy them. So I have read this book. I read it over a week ago and I really did like it. For me, the beginning was better than the end. It was kind of hard for me to finish it because I felt that the beginning was more captivating, so that by the time I got to the end I wasn't so excited about reading it anymore, and I found that things were kind of dulled down in the last half and they weren't as magical and exciting in the beginning. But overall it still was a really good book. I really appreciated Maggie Stiefvater's new refreshing plot ideas as well as the new characters that are really interesting, and for me the characters in these books are some of the most realistic characters I've ever read about. So this book does follow a female main character. Her name is Blue, and we learn that her mother and her aunt are both psychics, and she lives in a house where all these people have abilities within it and they actually use their talents in order to make money. So there's tourists that come in and pay for their fortunes to be told. So that's a whole element of the book, as well as there's a private school where there's the Raven Boys who go to that school, and eventually Blue meets them and their kind of paths intertwine and turns into an adventure that has to lead them somewhere and allow them to discover something. And the concept is totally unique and really brilliant, so I would recommend it, and there's a lot of great elements within this book, so definitely check it out. It was really cool. The third book I'm going to show you is Whispers at Moonrise, and this is by C.C. Hunter, and this is the 4th book in the Shadow Fall series. And if you've been watching my book hauls or my videos for a while, then you know that this is a series that I wouldn't say is the most amazing, but the books are so addictive to read, they're so enjoyable, and I really enjoy them every single time. I just pick them up and I buy them and I read them. I just enjoy them so much. Altogether, it just makes such fun, entertaining reads that I cannot put down. The romance is great, the friendships and the characters are really cool, so altogether these are so much fun. It pretty much follows a girl who is intertwined with this world where there's all these different teenagers with different abilities. There's werewolves, there's fairies, there's fays, there's vampires, there's witches, everything you could want, and it's just bundled up all together to make such an exciting read. I really love these books, so that's why I bought the next one. And the first one is called Born at Midnight if you're interested, and I would highly recommend you check the series out because it's so much fun. The next book I'm going to show you is Unholy by Neal Shusterman, and this is the sequel to Unwind, which is a book that came out about 3 to 4 years ago. So when I learned that there's going to be a sequel coming out, I was so excited. So now that I have it, I'm actually going to reread Unwind so I can just get back into the whole world and actually remember what would happen in the first one before I read this one. Check it out because its concept is unlike anything else I can ever imagine in a book, and it makes you think. It's so thought-provoking and it's so exciting. So check out Unwind so you can read Unholy, because Neal Shusterman is an amazing author and his books are phenomenal. The next book I'm going to show you is Eve and Adam by Michael Grant, and there's also another author who wrote alongside of Michael Grant, and her name is Catherine Applegate. So I actually forgot this book was going to come out, so when I saw it in the bookstore I completely freaked out because I love Michael Grant. I think his work is amazing. He has so many phenomenal books out there. If you know his Gone series, then you know what I'm talking about, and he also wrote Berserk, which is another novel I really loved. So when I saw this, I was so stoked because his writing is fantastic and I love the ideas he comes up with. So this one sounds so cool. I'm going to read you the inside cover to give you an idea of what it is a little bit so you guys can check it out if you're interested. So in the inside cover, I'm going to read it out to you guys. It says, "In the beginning there was an apple, and then there was a car crash, a horrible, debilitating injury in a hospital. But before Evening Spiker could regain consciousness, there was a strange boy checking her out of the hospital and rushing her to Spiker Biopharmaceuticals, her mother's research facility. Once there, Eve has to heal and cope with the eerie isolation only interrupted by her overbearing mother, a strange group of doctors, and the mysterious boy who brought her here. Just when Eve thinks she will die, not from her injuries but boredom, her mother gives her a special project: create the perfect boy. Using an amazingly detailed simulation that is designed to teach human genetics, Eve starts building a boy from the ground up. Eyes, hair, muscles, even a brain, and potential personality traits. Eve is creating Adam, and he will just be perfect, won't he?" So honestly, doesn't that sound so cool? I thought altogether the whole synopsis sounded amazing, and the whole concept of Adam and Eve and kind of switching it to Eve and Adam sounds incredible and so unique, so definitely check it out if you're interested. I'm so excited to read this and see what Michael Grant kind of adds to this book, because whatever he does add to every book is phenomenal, and I just love his writing, so I'm so excited to read this. So the last book I'm going to show you guys is The Selection by Kiera, and if you saw my review on this book, then this book isn't a surprise to see in my book haul, but I thought I would show you for those of you who didn't see my review or didn't even know I read this book. So beside me, I'm going to leave a link to my review if you want to check it out. I talked about the book, how amazing it was, and why I loved it, and all of its great qualities. So if you're interested, definitely check out my review so you can see what I liked about it, and I definitely persuaded some people to go pick it up. So if you need some persuading and some convincing, definitely check out my review because it was a really great book. I thought it was a lot of fun, the concept was great, and the romance was awesome. So altogether, it was really unique, so much fun to read, and so exciting. I couldn't put it down, and I think you guys will love it too. So check out the review. I loved it, and hopefully you guys did too.